What's up, everybody? Today I want to talk about why I choose not to use a light on my camera setup when I'm shooting at a live show. And I'm going to give you 5 reasons to support that. Number 1, it's distracting to the performers. I mean, put yourself in their shoes. You're trying to relax backstage, which normally there are people back there with cameras, or even when you're just performing, sometimes there will be somebody with a camera up there on stage with them. And just imagine having a light on your camera and just having this bright light, shining in their face. It's distracting, it's, glaring. It can break their concentration, their focus if they're trying to look out into the crowd or trying to communicate with people and this bright light is flashing in their face. So it's just not something you want to do. In the beginning of my career, I made that mistake and I can tell I was making people very uncomfortable. So definitely one of those things you want to avoid. Number 2, it ruins the concert atmosphere. When you're at a live show, you're part of the experience. It's gonna be a vibe, and then you have somebody with a bright light just kind of like breaking that up. Usually these events are low lit, but they are lit. There's some type of lighting, especially on the stage. The last thing you want to do is have a bright light moving through a show, moving through the audience, or moving around the artist while they're performing. Just imagine if you're at a show trying to enjoy it and somebody's got some bright light in your face or just kind of like glaring off to the side. It kind of breaks your focus and your concentration, and it just kills the atmosphere. Number 3, and as I mentioned in the last part, was it's just gonna bother the audience. Again, you paid money to go see the show. The last thing you want is somebody with a light flashing or glaring in your face. I've seen this so many times where people are at these shows and they're kind of standing in the crowd and they're shooting and they got this light on their camera, and then they need to adjust the setting or something, so they move the camera down or they're pushing it to the side, and you just see this bright light flashing all over the place, kind of like hitting you in the face too even. So you're just kind of killing the vibe with that. I suggest not doing that. Even if you're not using the light, move off to the side, readjust your camera, fix whatever you need to fix, and then jump back in. But just make sure you're there as a part of the show, not trying to break it up or getting in anybody's way. Number 4, it may violate venue or even artist rules. A lot of these shows, especially these smaller venue shows, I understand that it might not be the brightest lights on there, but some of these places will have rules in place where you can shoot video, you can shoot photo, but you cannot have any type of lighting situation or flash photography if you're shooting photos. So just keep that in mind if you're planning to go to a show or you're being hired to shoot. Make sure you talk to somebody, make sure you ask what the situation is. Just prepare yourself and make sure that you're not breaking any rules. Number 5, and probably the most important one to me, is you are killing the authenticity of the shot. Most of the time when I'm shooting content of my people, when they're at these shows and performing, the majority of the time the video is going to be used as like a recap so we can post on social media and have some content to share after these shows and thank people for coming out. So the last thing I want to do is have a bright light that's kind of breaking up the atmosphere, as we mentioned, and the authenticity of the show. You want people to feel like they were there. Most of the time, your shots are going to be dark. That's totally fine. Most of the time, you're not going to have the best lit spaces. Use that to your advantage. This is an opportunity to be more creative with your shots. A good rule of thumb to have when you're shooting content from a live show is to never exceed a minute. You're obviously going to shoot a lot of content there. Then you want to take that content and break it down and get your best shots and add those up together and create a nice smooth transitioned reel for your Instagram, your TikTok and YouTube, all your social media. Keeping it within a minute keeps your audience engaged. Keep in mind that this is only specific to shooting live shows and kind of just getting visuals. You're not necessarily capturing the audio from the show or conducting any type of interviews. If you're gonna do that, then you need to set up in a different way. Then you need to have a lighting setup, but you need to make sure that you're separating that from your content that you're shooting for your reels or your social media when you're trying to capture the experience of the live show. So just make sure you're keeping that in mind. You're not trying to do everything all at once, or people aren't trying to pull you to do an interview when you're not set up for that. So just make sure you're setting boundaries and you're keeping yourself organized. So these are my 5 reasons and my best advice as to why not to use a light when you're shooting at these live sets. In the next video, I'm gonna go over my setup for shooting at these live sets in this dark space. It's mainly an S-Log3, which a lot of people kinda are a little intimidated by. Totally understand, so was I. But using these settings and these editing techniques in post are gonna give you the best possible outcome. So until the next one, peace.